Welcome back to Bahamian Mathematics. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share to see more videos just like this one. In today's video, we are going to be writing algebraic expressions like w over 2 as half of w, or 8 multiplied by m as 8 times m. We will use letters and operations properly. Let's take a look. The definition of an algebraic expression is simply a combination of letters and numbers with operations. So x plus 2 is an algebraic expression, half p, 3 minus z, 6b, r plus w, they're all algebraic expressions. Let's see how we use addition in everyday math. If we started off with 6 and we wanted to write 4 more than 6, we would start with 6 and we would add 4 afterwards. If we wanted to know what was 4 more than a, it doesn't matter what a is, we would start with a and we would add 4. The difference between the two of these is we can get an answer for the first one because we know 6 plus 4 is equal to 10. But for a plus 4, there is no answer. The answer is a plus 4. If we use subtraction and we wanted to know what number was 2 less than 6, we would start off with 6 and we would subtract 2. If we wanted to know what number was 2 less than y, we would start off with y and we would subtract 2. Again, we can find the answer to 6 minus 2, which is 4, but the answer to y minus 2 is y minus 2. We cannot get a number as our answer. These are algebraic expressions. And so let's try to write the expression 4 more than b. Means we start with b and we add 4 more, and the expression is b plus 4. But how do you know which term to write first? Is it the 4 or the b? Well, the answer is locate the word than. And whatever is after the word than, that is what you start with. So 4 more than b means we start with b and then we add 4 to it. 3 less than k means we start with k and we subtract 3. Again, we can see the word than. And the k is written first. D more than 5. Again, we start with 5 and we add d. W less than 1 means we start with 1 and we take away w. Y more than z means I start with z and then I add y. These are all algebraic expressions. Now let's use multiplication. If we wanted to know what was 3 times more than 6, we would start with 6 and we would multiply by 3. If we wanted to know what number was 3 times more than a, we would start with a and we would multiply by 3. A times 3 can be simplified as 3a. 6 times 3 gives us an answer of 18, but a times 3 can only be written as 3a. Now let's use division. If we started with 6 and we wanted to know what was half of 6, we would take 6 and we would divide it by 2. If we wanted to know what number was half of y, we would start with y and again we would divide by 2. Y divided by 2 can be written as y over 2. The answer to 6 divided by 2 is 3. But there is no answer to y divided by 2 unless we know the value of y. So let's put this into practice. How many days are there in 1 week? Well, we know that there are 7 days in 1 week, and so 1 week multiplied by 7 days gives us 7 days. How many days are there in 3 weeks? Well, we would multiply 3 by the 7 days, which is in 1 week, and we would get 21 days. And so let's use that to ask the question, how many days are there then in x weeks? It doesn't matter what the number is. We would always multiply the x by 7, and the answer in this case is not a number, but rather 7x. What about how many days are there in h weeks? It doesn't matter what h is, we will multiply it by 7, and simplify this becomes 7h. So how many days are there in h weeks? The answer is 7h. What about months in 1 year? Well, we know there are 12 months in 1 year, so we multiply 1 by 12, and we get the number 12. How many months are there in 5 years? Well, we would just multiply 5 times 12, and that will give us 60 months. But if we don't know the exact number of years, and we want to know how many months were there in e years, we would perform the same operation. E times 12. And that simplifies to give us 12e instead of a number. Similarly, how many months are there in Y years? We do the same process, Y times 12, which gives us 12y. These are algebraic expressions. So let's use division now to see how that works. How many weeks are there in 7 days? Well, we know if we took 7 days and we divided it by 7, because there are 7 days in a week, we would get 1. How many weeks are there in 28 days? Again, we would take the 28 days and we would divide it by 7, because there are 7 days in a week. Every 7 days makes 1 week. And we would get an answer of 4. So let's use a letter now instead of a number. How many weeks would there be in K days? Well, we start off with the number of days, K, and we divide by 7. And that gives us K over 7. Again, we don't get a number as our answer. We get an algebraic expression. How many weeks are there then in C days? The same process, C divided by 7, giving us an answer of C over 7. Let's look at feet in inches. How many feet are there in 12 inches? Well, we know every 12 inches is a foot, and so we will divide by 12, and 12 divided by 12 gives us a number 1. How many feet are there then in 36 inches? We would start off with 36 and we divide by 12, because every 12 inches is a foot. And that gives us a number 3. So let's switch it up to how many feet are there in R inches. Doesn't matter how many there are. We divide R by 12. And we don't get a number as our answer. We get the expression R divided by 12. What about how many feet are there in A years? Again, we start with A, divide by 12, and we get an answer of A over 12. So let's write some algebraic expressions. 3 times y. The answer is 3y. Now, how do you know which term to write first, the 3 or the y? The general rule is that in this case, we write the number first and then the letter afterwards. X divided by 6. We would have x on the top over 6. How many inches in z feet? Well, we would multiply 12 by z to give us 12z. 1/3 of p, we would get p over 3, p divided by 3. And lastly, how many days in x weeks? That would give us 7 times x, which is 7x. And now you try some more. 9 books at $R each. What is the algebraic expression we can form from this sentence? This would be 9 times R, dollars, which is 9R. 5 snappers and T grunts in total. That would give us 5 plus T. How many dozen in D pencils? Imagine a number of pencils and we wanted to divide them into dozens. We would start off with D and divide by 12. How many months in M years? We will take 12 and multiply by M, giving us 12M. If I have Y mangoes and I eat 5, that means I started off with Y and I have 5 less, which is Y minus 5. I am 45. What was my age X years ago? I would start at 45 and take away X, giving us 45 take away X. And now it's quiz time. Write an algebraic expression from the following. I have X dollars in my wallet and I spend $25. How much is left? You have 5 seconds. Time's up. The answer is X minus 25. Question 2. Write an algebraic expression. How many millimeters are there in D centimeters? You have 5 seconds. Time's up. The answer is 10D. We know to go from centimeters to millimeters, we multiply by 10. Question 3. Write an algebraic expression for 6 blocks weigh Y pounds. How much does 1 block weigh? You have 5 seconds. And time's up. The answer is we start with Y and we divide by 6. So the expression is Y divided by 6. Question 4. Write an algebraic expression. Carl is C years old. How old will he be in a decade? If he's C years old today, he will be C plus 10 years old in a decade. And the final question, write an algebraic expression. A rope is 10 meters long. If divided into P equal parts, how long is each part? You have 5 seconds. Time's up. The expression is 10 divided by P. And now you've solved the mystery of how to write algebraic expressions. Well done.